what I sometimes find myself thinking about, and I often say to people at 3 in the morning, because that's often when this happens, I wake up in a bit of what you might call a nervous state, and then I have to find a way to kind of talk to myself in the hope I might eventually get back to sleep. It's like that's that sort of, how can I put this? It's like that point where I realize there must be some interface between my imagination and my thoughts and actions and what we think of as the physical world. There must be some point at which those two are joined together, some kind of liminal space where, I'm probably not putting this very well, but it's very easy to go off in flights of fantasy and imagination, positive or negative, in the way that we've been discussing. But there must be a connection somewhere between this thinking stuff that my brain is doing and then the stuff that's unfolding in the world. There must be, I assume there's some interface somewhere between the two. And I was thinking about that last night, and because I think I've woken up a bit anxious, and then from somewhere I got this sort of, well, if I don't, it was something like, instead of thinking, I just wiggle in bed and move my body and allow the movement of my body to be how I think, which I found quite comforting. I thought, well, this is odd. Why am I doing this? It's almost like, it's almost as if a puppeteer is moving my body for me, but that might be me doing it. And I think it was just me playing with, it sounds very pretentious, but like kind of playing with, what is this? What is this experience I have? I sometimes find when I'm swimming, I take a pause between lengths and I sit in the pool, and that's the point at which I find myself thinking, what exactly is this? This life, what is this experience I'm having? Who is this having this experience? What is this? What is this life?
Like I've even had the same experience playing with my movement and wondering what's directing it. No, and I love that. Like, I love those moments in whatever it may be of just taking stock, like, and just looking around and going, what is this life? Like, what, like, I do it. Sometimes I do it with my dog, and I'm just kind of just taking it all in, and I'm just like, okay, like, there's things that I maybe really enjoy. It's irrespective of whether it's the moment where I'm feeling just extreme joy or gratitude or even tension. That experience of just kind of taking stock and life almost seeming like a bit of a movie set, like, and that I'm just observing it all play out. It's a really curious one.
It's something that I started to realize a lot happening when I do these unhurried conversations, which are essentially talking stick conversations where we just have this protocol for one person talking at a time. And I've been running them for quite a long time now. And it dawned on me that there's something very satisfying for people to gather around where there's no set agenda, take turns in talking, not interrupt each other. And you get this sense after a while of, so we're all of us are trying to make sense of this life. When we're not trying to prove anything to each other or get anywhere in particular, we end up talking about, well, what is our, because I sometimes say there's no theme, or the theme is whatever is on your mind. And when people share what's on their mind, we go, you start to realize, so I'm not the only person who stops at the end of the swimming pool or somewhere and wonders about this, or moves their body involuntarily at night. And there's something rather lovely about getting into that space of, so we're all trying to piece together what all this stuff means. Because in our daily lives, I think certainly in the West anyway, the default culture is not one of bemused puzzlement. It's of alternative, rather brashly offered certainties. 3 for 2, 60% off. Brexit, not Brexit. This is how politics works. This is how the tax system should work. A whole series of brittle certainties bashed around. And you might think, well, that's all there is. But if we just stop to pause for a moment, I suspect many more of us than you might think are having these more interesting, you could call them philosophical sort of inquiries, or we have the potential for it.